Security.
Welcome to Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Nolene Ebel Ame, and here is the news. Out of the 774 cases of alleged electoral offenses in the 2023 general election, majority of the cases are still ongoing due to delay in the prosecution process. To this end, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is appealing to the media to collaborate with the Commission in the advocacy for the creation of Electoral Offences Tribunal. Mayor Gidi reports that the appeal was made at a consultative meeting with media executives in Abuja.
A meeting between the pen and the ballot. The reporter being reported. 721 journalists covered the Edo governorship election, 700 deployed for the Ondo governorship election in 2024. Great partners, I must acknowledge your contribution to the growth of democracy in Nigeria. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu to the media chiefs. Yes, another task ahead. Anambra governorship polls November this year. FCT Area Council elections February next year. While plans are on for these two elections, by-elections also on standby.
There is an increasing number of by-elections to be conducted. In the last 3 weeks alone, vacancies have occurred in one federal constituency and 2 state constituencies. In another state, the State Assembly declared the seat of a member vacant as a result of absenteeism following the prolonged absence of the member from sittings of the House.
Sanitizing the electoral process, INEC's major area of concern. 774 alleged election offenders in the 2023 general election undergoing trial. Convictions secured in Akwa Ibom, Kebbi, and Kogi states, while arrests on vote buying by EFCC records successes in Lagos, Kwara, and Gombe states. But the delay in the process, a major wall standing against INEC efforts.
No priority attention is given to such cases as the courts deal with a variety of other issues. It is therefore imperative to renew our call for the creation of the Electoral Offences Tribunal that have a specific jurisdiction and limited time frame for the speedy dispensation of cases.
And that I think we should also encourage the National Assembly to set these things in motion so that there are just too many things that they are doing that they shouldn't be doing.
INEC, the oxygen to democracy, and it must be encouraged, the media chiefs promised. Mayor Ogedi, NTA News.
And looking at education now, the federal government has debunked reports circulating in some media that junior secondary school JSS and senior secondary school SSS education have been scrapped. While addressing journalists in Abuja, the Minister of Education clarifies that the government is proposing an expansion of basic education to 12 years, ensuring a seamless learning experience without disruptions from the current 6334 system. He explains that this initiative aims to provide students with a full compulsory basic education, ultimately leading to better learning outcomes.
Education, that will also be mandatory and free. So 12 years of compulsory education within the main context of 6 years of primary school, 3 years of junior secondary school, and 3 years of senior secondary school. So we have not scrapped primary school, junior secondary school, or senior secondary school, and we do not intend to scrap this. We're just planning on lengthening the number of years that's compulsory from 9 years to 12 years. And before we even get to final decision on this, we will be having a lot of stakeholder engagement.
Still staying with education, across many tertiary institutions in Nigeria today are various projects with the signature of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund. These projects are geared towards enhancing the quality of education, learning, teaching, and research. Samuel Okpo reports from Ebonyi State University, Abakaliki, where TED Fund projects were inaugurated by the House Committee on TED Fund.
The Education Trust Fund, otherwise known as TED Fund, is a scheme established by the federal government of Nigeria in 2011 to manage, disburse, and monitor education tax to the government-owned tertiary institutions in Nigeria. These projects cut across physical infrastructures like buildings, electricity, water, conventional libraries, electronic libraries, as well as research centers.
3 projects to be commissioned today are the annual interventions of years 2016 to 2019 merged, 2021 to 2022 merged, and 2020. The total cost of which amounts to 1.339 billion.
Utilization and subsequent maintenance of these projects were the major concerns expressed by stakeholders as projects, including 3 faculty blocks, desks, and other facilities, were inaugurated by the chairman, House Committee on TED Fund at Ebonyi State University, Abakaliki.
Where the legislature is mandated to oversight the use of public funds for efficiency and to ensure that the monies allocated are judiciously utilized.
We are here to commission this project. Make sure that you maximize the uses of this and make sure that you also sustain it. This is what has enabled us to have accreditation for all our programs here in NTA by LUC and courtesy of TED Fund.
With the commissioning of these infrastructural projects, there is expectation that there will be improvement in terms of teaching, learning, and research in this institution. In Abakaliki, Samuel Okpo, NTA News.
Thank you, Samuel. In another news, Minister for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, has urged young parliamentarians to maximize the opportunity given to them in the political space to make meaningful impacts and ensure that the interests of Nigerian youth are effectively protected. This was at the inauguration of the 6th session of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, where 109 newly elected members were sworn in for a 2-year term. National Assembly correspondent Amina Saidu reports.
It was a gathering of parliamentarians, dignitaries from the highest levels of government, and representatives from the international community coming together to witness the inauguration of the newly inducted members of the Nigerian Youth Parliament. Minister for Youth Development Ayodele Olawande underscored the critical role young parliamentarians play in shaping policies that will drive youth development and contribute to national progress.
We are Nigerian youth. Let us together write another story about us. Let us together tell the Nigerian youth that we can do it differently. Let us tell the leaders and elders of this country that whatever mantle is being given to us, we are trained.
All the youth parliamentarians, through their leadership, shall be shared the way we allocate committees to senators.
The inauguration marks the beginning of a 2-year tenure for the members who are expected to serve as the voice of Nigerian youths, championing policies that address their challenges and aspirations. From the National Assembly, Amina Saidu, NTA News.
And elsewhere, the federal government has reaffirmed its dedication to fostering open and constructive engagement with labor unions while also strengthening international partnerships for job creation. The Minister of Labor and Employment stated this when he visited the leadership of the Nigerian Labor Congress.
To solidify industrial harmony, the Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Megeri Dangyadi, paid a familiarization visit to the leadership of the Nigerian Labor Congress. Commending the union for suspending its planned protest against recent telecom tariff hikes, he emphasized government's unwavering commitment to addressing workers' concerns through dialogue rather than confrontation. Recognizing the NLC's critical role in safeguarding workers' rights, Dangyadi assured the union of sustained collaboration to promote fair labor practices. The NLC leadership welcomed the minister's assurances and reiterated its readiness to engage with the government in tackling economic challenges affecting the workforce.
I want to believe that the time, the era of demonstrations, protests should be behind our backs now.
And there are some people, there are issues that have been on for 2 years, 3 years. Until they are resolved, they will still be hanging there. I will not bother you with all this, but let me thank you, sir, for this show of love towards the Nigerian workers.
Beyond domestic engagements, the minister also held discussions with a delegation from the IHK Friedberg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Germany, led by its president, Dr. Matthias Leder, and facilitated by Nigeria's former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. The talks focused on expanding job creation through legitimate labor migration and vocational training.
The federal government has renewed its commitment towards enhancing the nation's security framework to ensure Nigerians are safe wherever they are. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, stated this when a delegation from the Fellowship of Churches of Christ in Nigeria, led by its president, Reverend Joel Stephen Billy, paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Akume emphasizes efforts by the current administration to reinvigorate the armed forces to ensure peace and security in all parts of the country. This, he says, is already yielding positive results as some areas under the occupation of Boko Haram in the northern part of the country are being reclaimed by the armed forces. The SGF also explains efforts by the federal government to improve food security as well as resuscitate every sector of the economy through people-oriented economic policies. He also provided explanations on the tax reform bill before the National Assembly. He commended the church in supplementing government's efforts in the area of education and health, as well as promoting peaceful coexistence in the country, and assures them of partnership with government in promoting development and peaceful coexistence.
Have been formulated and presented to the National Assembly.
Established several educational institutes.
Reverend Joel Stephen Billy, on behalf of the Fellowship of Churches of Christ in Nigeria, expresses gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for signing the bill establishing the North Central Development Commission, NCDC, into law. He also urges the federal government to do more in the area of security and palliative measures to mitigate hardship being experienced in the country. The Federal Road Safety Corps and National Orientation Agency have agreed to commence an immediate nationwide orientation against field scooping siphoning, and other road vices. The two agencies arrived at this conclusion after an engagement between the Director General, NOA, Lanre Issa Onilu, and the FRSC Co-Marshal at the Corps headquarters in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Increasing cases of death from scooping of fuel from falling tankers has caused apprehension amongst many. Consequently, President Bola Tinubu directed a massive campaign against these acts.
We are partners.
Responding to the presidential directive, these two agencies have now strategized on the imminent nationwide orientation, which will focus on high-risk areas and communities, emphasizing that the loss of lives and properties due to these vices is unacceptable.
We're also partnering with the Federal Fire Service and the State Fire Services, so that when we get a spot, we get numbers whereby even if a crash occurs, a fire service can come immediately, condemn the place, and then contaminate the area, so that even if the content spill over to the contaminated, so that they do no longer have value to those citizens to school or to steal.
First and foremost, this product was somebody's investment that has gone bad. The Nigerians of old will be concerned about the person whose money and investment has gone to waste, not trying to take advantage of another person's misfortune. Something has happened to our value system.
The FRSC Co-Marshal, Sheikh Mohammed, therefore urges Nigerians to support this initiative and join in promoting road safety and preventing loss of lives and property. He entreats eyewitnesses to immediately vacate the scenes before contacting concerned agencies. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Upgrading and transforming Nigeria's transport system in tune with global best practices is the new perspective gaining attention of relevant stakeholders. Transport correspondent Ladibala reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima was represented at the stakeholders' engagement aimed at promoting conversation on adopting technologically driven transport systems in the country.
And efficient transport systems are critical to societal development and driving economic growth of the nation. These stakeholders' engagement with participants drawn from the transport sector across the country is to mobilize them to key into the Intelligence Transport Systems Initiative in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
Adopting intelligence and autonomous transportation is not merely a necessity, it is an imperative to effectively manage the exponential surge of future transportation load on our road infrastructure.
Is when all of us, the 36 states and FCT, united that let's have a robust database of all the vehicles we have in Nigeria. If we have this well synchronized with the owner of the mandate, which is Federal Road Safety, and we can operate it together as a country.
Participants were unanimous that the time for transformation of Nigeria's transport system is now, as they applauded the federal government's efforts.
Our university will contribute in building capacity to not only the workers, but to all the stakeholders, including drivers, including transport union, including transport owners, including transport employers.
And what we take from this meeting, we'll implement it, inshallah, in the other states.
So the application of intelligent transport system will enhance the operations of the vehicles in the park in terms of security.
We have the ANIPR cameras, the pilot scheme in 2 locations at the moment.
The emphasis here is on synergy among stakeholders to accelerate the transition process. In Abuja, Ladibala, NTA News.
At this point, we shall be joining Adiola Komiakere in our Lagos Network Center for more on Nationwide. Hello, Adiola. Looking good. That is online.
Thank you, Narlene, and welcome to Lagos.
Pesticides and other dangerous chemicals used in food preservation and ripening constitute serious health hazards. The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is advising Nigerians to thoroughly wash and parboil food items preserved with chemicals. Joel Pupola reports that this warning is part of measures to safeguard public health.
It is not uncommon for people to experience stomach discomfort or other severe ailments after consuming food or fruits. Many experiences like this, experts say, may be as a result of use of pesticides in food preservation. These unwholesome chemicals, which are used to kill pests, many times are not properly applied, which takes its toll on consumers.
We also have issues of different grains that are also being poisoned, I will use that word, with a number of pesticides like Sniper, DDVP, and Optapiapia, and the rest of them. People spray directly on beans. This shouldn't be. It is illegal.
Many food items like beans and vegetables, often ripened with chemicals, are hazardous, and experts say the signs are easily noticed.
Spoken also about palm oil, that people add azo dyes to palm oil, Sudan 2, Sudan 3, and the rest of that, Sudan 4. They add it to palm oil just to increase the brightness, very bright red color, which is actually not necessary.
Some women are not oblivious of this danger and are very conscious of what and where they buy their food items from.
For some people like me, if I want cook beans, I will leave them for 2 hours. After that one, I will commot the water. If I commot the water, I will put another water for fire. After the water will hot, before I will put that beans inside. After that one, I will put pepper, put oil, put everything what I need inside.
NAFDAC says it is important to guard against these harmful practices to safeguard public health. In Lagos, Joel Okbola, NTA News.
Talking education now, the inability to fully adhere to the school safety policies has been described as the bane of various challenges facing the education sector. Stakeholders believe that holistic implementation of the policies will serve as antidote to the challenges in the sector. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
To make education devoid of stress, the federal government has put in place a national policy on safety, security, and friendly environment aims at protecting students, teachers, school community, and also making learning fun and easy. Despite the school safety policies, the education sector is still being confronted with series of setbacks such as bullying, intimidation, unconducive learning environment, and many more. More worrisome is the increase in establishment of substandard private schools and unqualified teachers, especially in rural areas. Some of the ugly narratives in the sector have also been linked to the non-implementation of these policies.
Even in some peri-urban communities, I saw a school today and I saw that there is a crèche up there and there is a bar downstairs. Bar where people drink, where they have a lot of crates of drinks. So what are you insinuating? What are you teaching the children?
Sanitizing the education sector, especially at the foundation level, with proper monitoring of the school safety policies, according to stakeholders, is long overdue.
We shouldn't have a once in a blue moon regulation or enforcement. We should have consistent enforcement. Now we have established them. But implementing and enforcing them in our schools has been a major issue.
For impactful safety policies in Nigeria, stakeholders are canvassing for engagement of the wider community. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Those are the
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Benin. The prosecution of persons found culpable in the mismanagement of the state's resources was part of the recommendations presented to Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpeyolo by the Asset Verification Committee. Goodluck Kenine reports that Governor Okpeyolo received the final report of the committee presented by the chairman, Dr. Ernest Afolabi Umakihe.
The presentation of copies of the final report to the governor climaxed the activities of the committee set up by the governor 2 months ago. Governor Paulo commended the committee for delivering on the task on record time aimed at ensuring transparency, accountability, and management of assets and liabilities of the state. He assured the committee that the findings and recommendations will be promptly implemented.
But we made it possible. Thank you. And I also must let you know that your findings and recommendations will carry it out appropriately.
The committee's chairman and former Federal Permanent Secretary, Dr. Eneza Folabi Umahihe, spoke on the content of the report.
This is a turning point for Edo State, a moment where we must take stock of our current position and set a course towards greater accountability, financial prudence, and responsible management of public assets. We hand over this report and measures. We do so with the firm belief that its recommendations will help to guide Edo State towards a more prosperous and accountable future.
The 14-member Asset Verification Committee was inaugurated on the 26th of November last year in Benin. Good luck in NT News.
Free and compulsory basic education for all children is one of the main provisions of the Nigeria Child Rights Act. The act, which was domesticated by Edo State in 2007, also protects children from abuse, child labor, and violence. Jude Abugu in this report takes a look at the implementation of the act in the state.
The Nigeria Child Rights Act of 2003 was domesticated in Edo State with the conviction that it will improve the lives and well-being of children, promote their rights in many areas, including education, health, and family life. However, a common sight of children hawking and begging for alms during school hours raises concerns about the effective implementation of Child Rights Act.
You see a young kid doing conductor, and at the same time go and give parents money at home, and the parents will receive it. So if the parents can if government can hold the parents two times, and the parents are being served from police station, that child will take charge of school.
It is the responsibility of the children, of the parents, to take care of their children. But in a situation where they are not able to take care, then they beg the government.
So government should be involved by one, setting up a task force to make sure they are being pulled out of the streets.
Convictions for defilement across the state is now by far more than what it used to be upon the activation of the child rights law. I also know, as a matter of fact, that school enrollment and the children in school is a matter that has also taken a lot of currency as a function of this issue of child rights law.
It is believed that effective implementation of the Act will help to curb child neglect and other societal ills against the Nigerian child. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Nolin in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Uduakabong Achibong, from our Benin studio. In a bid to provide affordable energy and collaborative spaces for entrepreneurs in the country, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria has formally launched a solar-powered fashion hub for garment making and has also unveiled a makerspace for MSMEs. Mukbulang Dakok reports that the formal opening of the facilities were made possible by sponsorship of the United Nations Development Program.
Nigeria, small businesses struggle with erratic power supply and the cost of alternative energy sources. At the Idu business ecosystem in Abuja, a quiet revolution is taking place, simply powered by the sun. The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDAN, has just launched a solar-powered garment facility with huge support by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP.
I say, you know what, I'm actually excited to be part of this vision.
For Josephine Okoye, who along with others have made more than 36,000 garments in the facility in the last 6 weeks, this is more than just a workspace. It is a symbol of possibility.
For me in particular, it was a game changer. At the first week, it was unreal. I didn't want to believe that. Every day, morning, noon, and night, that there will be light in Nigeria.
Josephine is not alone in her excitement. Smedan, the UNDP, and others are enthusiastic.
Right now, small businesses can come in here, book a machine to work for free. They don't bother about power. They don't bother about buying the machine. They don't bother about maintaining the machine. So this is more money coming to our small businesses for them to increase their productivity.
I think the message here is about the fact that there are great opportunities for this country, particularly the creation of jobs, the creating of wealth, and we need to empower small and medium-scale enterprises.
With the unveiling of these facilities to be replicated across the country, Smedan has created a hub where entrepreneurs can access equipment no longer deemed by power shortages, but by the sun. In Abuja, Moplang Dakok, NTA News.
On security, the Nigerian Navy has released its scorecard outlining various operations in Nigeria's maritime domain in January 2025, including recovery of about 31,000 liters of illegally siphoned crude oil and 15,000 liters of illegally refined AGO at Egbema West and One local government areas of Rivers State. Operatives also deactivated an illegal refining site with about 2,000 liters of stolen crude oil in a dock-out pit at Iputukiri Camp area of southern Ijo local government area, Bayelsa State, and another illegal refinery site with 10 dock-out pits. One wooden board laden with about 2,000 liters of stolen crude oil were deactivated and seized around Tuma and Bile general area of River State. These operations, spanning 10 through 28 January 2025, led to the recovery of illegally siphoned crude oil in various locations, including Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State. The Chief of the Naval Staff says this reaffirms the Nigerian Navy's commitment to eradicating crude oil theft, and it will sustain the tempo to intercept maritime criminals in Nigerian waters. Sadia Umar Digi is in our Sokoto Network Center for more on Nationwide. Hello, Sadia. Over to you.
And welcome to Sokoto. As part of ongoing efforts to prevent transmission of poliomyelitis in Sokoto and neighboring Zamfara, the state government and UNICEF are strategizing in collaboration with relevant stakeholders to ensure that eligible candidates are immunized against the polio virus. This surfaced at a one-day engagement with religious and traditional leaders, as well as local council chairmen drawn from Sokoto and Zamfara states. Abdullahi Umulelu has details.
Sokoto State is one of the northwest states in Nigeria with recorded cases of circulating vaccine-dried polio virus type 2. To combat this, local government chairmen, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and other stakeholders have joined forces to kick the disease out of Sokoto State. According to the State Deputy Governor Idris Muhammad Gobir, despite financial support and expertise, more needs to be done to stop the spread of the virus. He assured that the government is committed to dealing with anyone found complicit while seeking collective efforts from religious and traditional leaders to eradicate the disease.
All the traditional rulers are here in Sokoto State, you understand? And these are the people that have the ability, you understand, to talk to the people.
UNICEF country representative Christian Mundwati emphasized the importance of a unified front in ending polio in the country.
Let us do this last mile. Let us eradicate this. We have, for example, Zamfara with 0 cases. Let us sustain 0 cases in Sokoto.
Key stakeholders placed their continued support to fight against polio in Sokoto State, reaffirming their commitment to work together in eradicating the disease and protect children from its devastating effects.
I want to assure you, but I want to come here as a state
opportunities. And we are going to address this simply the problem that we identified. And we will be able to take us to be able to support them and to provide the needed intervention for them.
This collaborative effort is part of a broader initiative to end polio across Nigeria, with governments and UNICEF working together for years to achieve this goal. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
With due apology, it was eligible children in that report and not candidates. Nigerian Army will continue to place high premium on the training and capacity building of soldiers to enhance their performance in theater of operations. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, gave the indication in a message to the sensitization lesson learned visit organized by the Nigerian Army headquarters for military formations and units of the 8th Division, Sokoto. Lalat Abdullahi has the report.
With the theme Enhancing Operational Effectiveness through the Nigerian Army Lessons Learned Process and Feedback Mechanism, the seminar targets junior and middle cadre leaders of the Nigerian Army with the aim to develop their capacity. It is part of the measures placed to mitigate the challenges faced by troops while operating in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous security environments. The sensitization seeks to enhance troops' knowledge on how to extract, collate, and analyze lessons learned to avoid past mistakes, hoping it will assist the troops to identify and forward such lessons to boost their operational efficiency. Similarly, it is expected to further develop the psychology and behavior of troops against the backdrop of operational challenges and rejig their fighting skills.
The Nigerian Army has continued to review its tactics, techniques, and procedure in order to come up with both kinetic and non-kinetic strategies to defeat these challenges.
The sensitization visit is also expected to rekindle the critical thinking skills amongst all commanders, particularly the junior commanders, through creativity, as well as developing their capacity to draw lessons from their operational engagements and other activities of the Nigerian Army. The Chief of Army Staff thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his continuous strategic guidance and invaluable support to the Nigerian Army. In Sokoto, Alhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And now Maiduguri is standing by with the news from that zone, but that will be right after these messages.
You are still watching Nationwide News, and welcome to Maiduguri. As part of efforts to rejuvenate commerce and enhance cross-border trade, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has inaugurated the International Cattle Market and 2 other projects in Banki Town of Bama local government area. The occasion had in attendance Governor of the far northern region of Cameroon and other government officials from the 2 countries. Mohammed Goni reports.
The International Cattle Market was designed to foster economic growth and enhance the livelihood of the people of the state. It comprises 15 remnant sheds of different size, lock-up shops, market stalls, a water supply facility, an administrative block with 3 offices, a conference hall, and convenience facilities.
Revitalizing international border markets remains a priority for my administration to restore livelihoods and accelerate economic recovery in conflict-affected areas.
I am deeply honored to be part of this significant occasion, representing the interests of my region and my community.
In their goodwill messages, the Sheikh of Bama, Umar Ibn Kari Ibrahim El Kanemi, and the chairman, Bama Reconstruction Committee, Lan Abawo Kilbe, commended Governor Zulum for delivering the remarkable projects that will directly touch people of Banki Town. Other projects inaugurated include the government lodge designed to provide accommodation for dignitaries and officials of government and a 20-classroom day secondary school with laboratories. The school also has teachers' quarters. Governor Zulum directed the State Ministry of Education to admit pupils completing primary school in 2 communities in Cameroon to the newly inaugurated secondary school in Banki Town. Meanwhile, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has called for strengthening the cross-border trade between Nigeria and the Republic of Cameroon, highlighting its role in fostering greater unity and cohesion between the 2 nations. The governor made the call during a bilateral meeting held shortly after inauguration of Banki International Cattle Market The bilateral meeting was attended by members of the National Assembly from Borno State and officials from the far north region of Cameroon, led by Governor Mijin Yawa Bakari. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur says the present administration of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum will give sporting activities the attention it deserves as a unifying factor that will surely aid Borno's ongoing recovery process. The Deputy Governor made the statement while declaring open a 4-day badminton competition for Association of Badminton Clubs in Nigeria, ABSIN, tagged 2025 Professor Zulum Peace Badminton Tournament held at Nuga Hall, University of Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reports.
An initiative of Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur and supported by Governor Babagana Umara, the 4-day badminton tournament shall be done in 8 categories with 192 players expected to participate. 21,600,000 naira has been set aside as cash prize for all categories of participants, comprising active and veterans, with the first position expected to receive 700,000 naira, while third position to be given 500,000 naira. Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur, who represented Governor Babagana Umara, says the initiative was purely designed to augment the prevailing peace in Borno, as well as to serve as a veritable platform towards fostering cohesion, particularly among the youths.
I want to appreciate my governor for supporting this tournament, because it's going to unite Nigeria, not only in Borno State. We are letting the world know that anybody that has any business or anything to do in Borno is free to come anytime, because there is peace in Borno.
I would like to express my gratitude to His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum for sponsoring this tournament.
The players were indeed enthusiastic to be part of the historic occasion, a clear demonstration of oneness, love, and courage. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
And that wraps it from Maiduguri. It is back to you, Nolim, in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Ladidi Musa. Thank you very much for your contribution from the Home of Peace. The inhumane treatment of Nigerians during deportation is one issue that has been of great concern to many, with reported cases of dehumanizing conditions, physical abuse, and psychological trauma. Ogochikuka Ona reports that stakeholders want government to take action against this situation.
Say deportation processes from some countries are characterized by torture and other forms of degrading treatment. They are detained in overcrowded, poorly ventilated detention facilities and unsanitary environments, and often denied access to medical care and legal representation. This is why, at a press conference in Abuja, the Civil Society Network on Migration and Development and the Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse and Labor say enough is enough.
On January 22nd, 2025, a plane carrying deportees from Germany arrived in Lagos. Among the passengers was Bright Obasui, a Nigerian citizen with documented medical conditions, including schizophrenia and epilepsy. Bright, described violently dragged from his home at midnight, brutally beaten, chained, and subjected to degrading treatment.
They want a review of standard operating procedures on return, readmission, and reintegration.
The Nigerian government must act swiftly to investigate these allegations, protect the rights of its citizens, and hold accountable those responsible for these abuses.
This has happened over the years, and there has been neglect from the side of, let's say, the society, because we have not cried out, and we can't continue to keep mute.
New reports indicate that more Nigerians are likely to be sent back home from some other countries in the renewed push against irregular migration. In Abuja, Ogochikuka Ona, NTA News.
The ongoing Port Harcourt Ring Road project in Rivers State is already expanding the transport dynamics in the metropolis with noticeable reduction of traffic jam, which previously characterized the construction areas. Robinson Deratide has an update on the project, which is also contributing to improved economic activities. Good evening, Robinson. Hello, Robinson, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Can you update us on the construction of the flyover in River State?
Yes, as we all know that the Port Harcourt Link Road project is a monumental infrastructure that will definitely drive economic development and also reduce traffic congestion in the state. It is about 50.15 kilometer dual carriageway spanning over 6 local government areas. So the possibility of opening up the state for economic development is there. The project has about 6 bridges and 1 river crossing bridge. Out of the 6 bridges, 3 of them have reached appreciable level of completion, just like the one behind me here. So about 3 of them have reached this level, and especially the areas within the Port Harcourt metropolis are almost complete, with vehicles even plying on them. So basically, it is going to open up the state and also help in ensuring that other communities that are not well developed are developed. But the most important aspect of it is the fact that agricultural produce that are coming from communities will be easier to be transported into the state capital, and this perhaps will also reduce the prices of these goods. So the Port Harcourt project, Link Road project, is a project that everyone is looking up to the time of completion. It cost about 195 billion naira and is expected to be completed next year. However, we are hearing reports of variation claims, but the Commissioner for Works is not on ground to confirm that reports to us. But basically, Rivers residents are eagerly waiting to see to the completion of the project.
All right, that's great, Robinson. Good to hear that. Thank you very much for your contribution from Port Harcourt. Next is a sports update. The sports update there concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for being part of it. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Do have a lovely evening.